I, Santa Claus, have decided to retire.
And welcome back to another Stream This, where we stream shows to let you know if you should.
Stream this.
Yes, and we are streaming The Santa Clauses, Episode 2. I'm JP Lambiase.
I'm Javier Lopez.
And I'm Aaron Briggs. We just streamed the episode, The Secescus Clause.
The
Oh, is that what it's called?
The Secescus.
Hibiscus Clause?
The Hibiscus.
So the Santa Clauses, Episode 1 ended with the big cliffhanger. If you did not see that, spoiler alert, he falls off the roof.
We thought he was dead.
Which is the worst thing that can happen to a Santa Claus, as we know from the original film. Santa Claus falls off the roof, he's dead.
Is this really it? All the things I never got to do. The Christmases I never had with my family. I just hope Carol doesn't remarry.
He's done. Finito. He evaporates into nothingness, and someone else replaces him, which is what happened with Scott
Yeah,
Culp.
the poor soul that's under that roof.
So, at the end of episode 1, we get this huge cliffhanger. Santa Claus has fallen off the roof.
And history repeats itself. We think this is the full cycle of life. The perfect ending to the Santa Claus anthology.
Right.
But the elf doesn't want to die. Just kind of blows a kiss in his face, and Santa's back to life.
Forgive me, Santa, for what I'm about to do.
In my opinion, a little bit of lazy writing here. You just kind of fixed a big problem that could have led to something, but instead, Santa Claus is well. He didn't die. He got a second chance. But there is a deeper story to this, and the story. What?
I don't know, man. Like it was clever because like you you would think like, oh, they're gonna make a new Santa and you're just gonna go with it, and it's like the writers like fucking with you. The writers like, haha, you thought I was gonna go this way, but I'm going this way.
That's
I don't
true,
know.
too.
You
A
know.
reversal, maybe.
Like, it might be a little tongue in cheek by the writer.
Yeah, but you know what? I would have loved him to be back to life in a better way than an elf blowing in his face. So for what I'm trying to say is he had to figure out, like, he had to go through, there had to be some sort of story element that made him, like, get back to life. That
Something
So he should have gone to like a regular human hospital and then been in like life support. type
Literally
thing.
anything.
that would have been good.
That would have been
because that could have affected
And
him.
then maybe there was a little boy at the hospital who was like, is that Santa Claus?
Yeah,
I believe in Santa Claus. And then that brought him back to
That
life.
would have been awesome because also
A child's
Oh, if he had
tear,
amnesia,
perhaps.
yo, if he had amnesia, if he had amnesia and he was
Just
at the
literally-
hospital,
amnesia
Yeah.
would have been great too
Literally
because then
anything.
yeah, because then he's like, I'm not Santa. Like
Fair.
that would have been
Yeah,
even
that would've
better.
been great,
Oh
too.
my God, what a great!
We just
created
rewrote. We
something
fixed it.
so much better.
So much better.
He wakes up, normal dude, doesn't know who he is,
Doesn't know
like the
who's Santa.
born identity, and he's like.
no. Now we got his son telling him that he doesn't want to raise his kids in the North Pole because it's not good.
He doesn't even know his kids.
and then Santa like rethinks his life. Yeah.
Guys,
Wow.
I am
Missed
so
opportunity.
disappointed right now. I don't think that this series is going to be bad. I just think that I'll give some credit to Javi here. This is a way better story. Way better story.
yeah.
Way better. So
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so in the episode, he falls off the roof. He's presumed dead. Elf doesn't like that. Elf's like, you know what? I'm going to wave my Harry Potter dick wand and bring you back to life because I can't think of a better way to...
That he just
Like,
literally
I
yelled
just-
in his
the,
ear.
The writers just, they don't... I'm like, what do you got, Bob? I don't know.
What if he just yells at him?
Yeah, well, just like let's just like, what's that? Oh, we're gonna throw up like tinsel on his face, and then he's gonna come back to life. And there's no threat.
I'm gonna say something.
Immortality is out the window.
I think that
Or immortality
I
is
think
up.
we have to give the writers a little bit more leeway and get into a couple more episodes because there's no way that I just thought of that because I'm not a writer, okay? And I'm sure that was discussed. I'm sure that.
All right, you accepted it. We'll move on. We'll move past
we
that.
can move on. The last, I do want to say one last thing about it. It's just that they created a universe where this was a rule. They said, this is what happens. If Santa Claus falls off the roof, he's done. Right?
Yes!
And then they immediately dissipated that tension without any
repercussion.
satisfaction.
Yeah, nothing.
Like there was
no.
there was nothing to.
They broke a rule on their own show.
Yeah, and then they immediately just
They brushed it off.
brushed it aside like it didn't mean anything.
They blew it off.
Yeah, they.
Ruffin's really dangerous, though.
And he's away. So
Yeah, especially if you're not Mexican.
Moving on, I think
Salvadorian. But,
We're gonna edit that out.
No, we should leave it in because I'm Hispanic and I said it's okay, so leave it alone.
Okay.
moving on with the story.
Yeah.
We forgive it, whatever.
Yeah.
The story needs to continue. What's the story happening now? Kumar is a bigger part of this series than we thought, which I love because he does serve a purpose. Somebody that is currently working in the industry, someone that we can relate to. I think he's that guy that like people just
What's his
know.
real name? Because it's not Kumar.
Cal Penn.
Cal Penn, because everyone calls him Kumar. Yo,
It doesn't matter.
he'll always be Kumar to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Cal Penn's at this writers room. He's at this business meeting, and he's saying, our profits are gonna be bigger this year because I've got this really amazing delivery system. And why don't I ask my daughter, what do you want for Christmas, daughter?
Everything.
And when do you want it?
Now.
Everything. When do you want it?
Now.
Yeah.
Yo, it had it not like glitched, he would have had that. It was slam dunk.
You mean had a fucking drone not launched like a heat-seeking missile into the Arab state, into this person's board meeting and almost murdered 17 people? Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was almost there. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oops, I'm sorry,"
Right.
but it worked. It got there in time.
I mean, it did get there
You
pretty
know,
immediately.
It did get there really fast. I don't know. I thought they were a little short-sighted, like telling him to get out. I'd have been like, "Okay, I want more of a percentage now that you almost like murdered me, but we're gonna work on it."
Yeah, I mean there was liability, negligence, lawsuits. They're a big company. So we get the scene. Kumar becomes a much greater part of the story, which again,
Yeah,
we
you
need.
might have a brown Santa.
We are kind of looking, is this a protagonist or an antagonist at this point? But I'll be honest with you, he's a way more likable character at this point from what I've been watching. I'm kind of rooting for him in a way.
I shouldn't let those guys get to me. I just need to fix our delivery problems.
I believe in you, Dad.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. That's all that matters.
So I really like how the writers are getting me like on board with this character who could turn out to be really bad. We don't really know yet. Either way,
Yo, what would be better than a Santa that gets high? Kumar.
I don't think Javi's thinking this through. You don't want Santa taking more than milk and cookies, is what I'm trying to say.
That's right.
You know,
You don't want him messing with
How do you expect him to eat all those milk and cookies? You gotta be high.
dude, he's
or Santa.
delivering presents to that many people. You're burning calories.
Burning a lot of calories, bro. You got to think about those
you need
calories.
you need definitely sugar. That's
Dude.
definitely something you need. But high in doing that, he's gonna forget so many places.
He's gonna forget people's houses.
He already forgot Javi.
Yeah.
Like
You did forget me. I wanted a telescope, okay? I wanted a telescope, Santa. You never brought it to me.
I really wanted a Ninja Turtles lime green water bottle, and I think it was made by Gatorade. And anything for you?
He wanted a water bottle, people.
Um,
Damn, your Santa sucked. Water bottle.
mostly growing up, the thing I really wanted the most was a friend.
Oh, damn.
All right. That's that seemed very genuine.
little too. No.
Kind of like the acting scenes in this episode. I had a lot of slapstick.
All the trouble you caused.
But but I get it's Disney Plus. Kids watch this. I wasn't a huge fan of that type of comedy. I think Tim Allen really does shine when it comes to my style comedy.
What's your style of comedy?
Yeah, a little sarcastic, witty stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, a little, yeah,
Tim,
a little more
Tool
biting.
Man
It's got a
Taylor.
little. It's got a little bite to it.
And always like bringing it down to earth. Like the minute like it goes into fairies and all that stuff, he always brings it down to earth. He's always just like, does she work at Claire's boutique? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like he'll do something to just bring it down to earth. But as far as this episode goes, I see where they're going with it. I think we all are speculating now that Kumar is going to be the
Might be Santa.
Might be Santa.
Might be
But,
Santa.
but yo, like, can we give it props? They actually brought his the real kid from his son back. Like,
Hey, Dad.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Charlie.
my God, we didn't even talk about Charlie.
We did not. Okay, so Charlie is definitely, if you're a Santa Claus fan, he's the OG. He's
yeah, and then he puts his dad in his place. He's just like, Dad, you raised me wrong, and I don't want to raise my kids that way. You fucking dick.
Yeah, Charlie is.
It's the job, though. It's not conducive to being an engaged parent.
Charlie, we explain who Charlie is in case you don't know. Charlie is Tim Allen's original son from the original Santa Claus movie.
and
With the E.
he grew up. So here's
And now he's grown up and married
He's
to
gone
a Latina.
And
through
what about me? I can see six standing on the beach. No. The answer's no.
3 very crazy phases of a character, which I appreciate. Charlie 1, full of hope and wonder.
Yeah.
Kid loves Christmas. 2, rebel. Still loves Christmas though, but doesn't like anyone that denounces Christmas. And then 3, I got a kids.
And I'm not gonna raise them that
I'm
way.
not gonna do that. And it's relatable, it's honest, it's real. But at the same time,
I mean, would you want to?
he's exactly what people do when they grow up. He became an adult.
Can we literally talk about this like on a real note? Imagine your kids growing up around a bunch of elves making toys.
Yeah.
Not good for their psyche. I'm sorry.
Also, I think we talked about this. We touched on how it's such a great parallel for like modern society and modern culture. Like, your
Dad doesn't accept you. Like
dad doesn't accept you. Wants you to go with the family business, perhaps. If you have some sort of, I wanted you to grow up to be this, and then the son rejects that, says, "Oh, I love you, Dad, and you did your best, but this isn't for me." And I think that's very relatable for anybody.
Well, that happened with me and my dad. My dad wanted me to be a doctor, but we all know that I'm not doctor material.
Well, I mean, like you are what you want to be.
Exactly. My dad wanted me not to be a disappointment. So.
And I'm adopted.
And
so
he's adopted.
so they're smarter. Like Asians are like, does he stand any chance? No. Adoption. Where your parents were like, well, we're not gonna put him up for adoption, but we're still gonna push our agenda. So anyway, we got this episode. He is a kid. Like Charlie is completely an adult. Completely, and you can respect
like a 30-year-old.
Yeah, but you can respect where he's coming from. It's so
He wants his kid to have a normal childhood.
it's so polarizing. That's what's so good about this. Is you agree with Charlie and you agree with Dad. You
do.
agree with both equally.
Dad agrees with Charlie because Dad's retiring so he can raise his kids
They're
right.
both right. They're both right. You care about your kids. You're a good guy. But also, Charlie, you lost the spirit of Christmas.
What about Mom's Pamela Anderson?
Yeah, he lives in Florida.
What, Charlie? What are you doing?
Yo,
You can't even move to Long Island or something and still get to have the season.
No snow.
The opposite, dude. No
about
Christmas
the
at all.
mom?
He's got a palm tree. He's got like some pina
Mom's
coladas.
gonna be an episode. Mom's gonna be an episode
But what
3.
about the mom? Like she lets down her hair like Pamela Anderson, like on
Oh, Baywatch.
Oh, you're talking about
And then,
Mrs. Claus.
You're talking about Miss Claus.
Like she hasn't let her hair down
Charlie's
forever.
got a mom, and we haven't seen Charlie's mom
It's
yet.
like,
Oh, we haven't seen.
it's like the white woman's version of dreads because she just hasn't taken them out in so long.
That's a reach, but I'll allow it.
And it's, Mrs. Claus. And I did think that part of the plot was a little bit cheesy.
That was a little cheesy.
It was for the kids.
It was for the kids.
It was for the kids.
For the kids.
Mrs. Claus can't change her hair. I'm like, listen, we're already hearing a lot of the 2022 woke culture tropes of like, oh, I have a choice. And then you backtrack with, I couldn't change my hair. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that Mrs. Claus is living in that type of dictatorship.
No, it's not. It's a partnership, baby.
But they
She looks so much better with the hair
but
down.
she can't change her hair. Like, come on now, guys. Like, we didn't need that. That did not need to be.
Why
in
was
this.
that a rule in the first place?
I gotta tell you something,
it was
though.
It was just for an agenda. I've been watching a lot of this new woke culture. It's all agenda based instead
boy.
of story
What do you mean
based.
by agenda based?
Well, they wanted to slip it in. They wanted to tell the audience that
What's
she
the
could.
agenda behind having a bun?
Well, I'm
Okay.
gonna explain it.
Okay.
She had her hair in a bun, and her excuse was, I can't get it out of this bun because those are the rules. But now that I am free, I can take it out. Well, here's the thing. There's nowhere the writers had to say that she was not allowed to wear her hair the way she wanted to wear it.
Yeah.
Do you think it was just like
It's
laziness?
agenda. No, it's agenda based. They wanted to say, I am
They
strong now. I am free. I don't need buns anymore. I can take this out. I don't need to live under your regime.
I don't
They
want to look
want-
like the sexy librarian.
Look, they want
They wanted to just say it. They,
They
just
want-
wanted to say it.
they want women to feel empowered.
It's not even about that. I'm saying it's an agenda based. It's not. This has nothing to do with like specifically women. It has to do with when a story throws something out there just to get their agenda out there. They did that. It's almost like an alley-oop. Like if I said like I want to advocate for fat people. I'm not you. Sorry.
Oh man.
All right. No.
JP's
We gotta do it different. We gotta do
that,
it.
On the naughty
that
list.
better stay in because that motherfucker just did the people.
Asian people. They will say
Don't advocate for
they
them.
will
No, I'm
just
kidding.
bring up something in
the
the.
Jews and we'll be okay.
But you get it
We'll
right.
be like canceled
They'll
like
just bring
Kanye.
something up in the plot, right?
Yeah, so they want to push a narrative that is. They want to push a narrative
wanna
that's
push-
progressive. They want everybody to feel included and loved and cared for. And I get it. What your problem is the problem. It's not so much the agenda, is when the agenda
Disrupts the story.
it's distracting from the story.
Yes.
I don't mind the agenda if it makes sense for the story, and I'm
It
like,
just
okay,
came
I'm
out
in.
of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't need to
If
be
they
a
do something,
thing.
for me, it didn't really distract me that much. I thought it was fine. I've seen much worse. But yeah, I see what you're saying. When it distracts from the story, it can be a little jarring. It's like, oh man, like you had.
Is
to
it
say
really that
that
traditional though? Like, is that what they're trying to imply? That like Santa Claus's traditions are so traditional?
Well, I mean, yeah,
They
even
are, but-
well, they also address the thing like you can't say naughty anymore. You remember how they were saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also about like she was saying, you'd make it like to the little
Yeah, she goes,
girl
but I
elf.
can say naughty.
Yeah, but then
Like, so they justified a double standard. I can say naughty.
yeah,
But
exactly.
why a female elf as
That's what I was gonna say. So Mrs. Claus was talking to the female elf, and she was like,
She can say naughty, but
you'd
she
make-
can't wear her hair down.
Well, I was saying the other thing, like when she was like, "Well, you would make a good Santa Claus" to the female elf.
You know who would be a great Santa? You.
Elves can't be Santa.
More weird rules. This place would crumble without you.
Mrs. Claus said that to the female elf,
Yeah.
and she was like, "You'd make a good Santa Claus," and she's like, "Elves can't be Santa Claus." And now, if at some point they make a female Santa Claus,
and that character was played by
It'll
a
be called
child.
She Claus.
Shanta.
And it'll be just as Santa
and
Claus.
also that character was played by a child. Child not gonna be Santa Claus.
They're
Okay.
they're elves.
They're elves.
They're not children.
Yeah,
They're
but-
not children. That's really offensive what you said.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
You're gonna get canceled for that.
They're not children. They're elves.
I'm sorry to the fairy gnomes and the guard.
All right, we got to keep
And
a tally
again,
for all the.
let's go with agendas again.
Okay,
Hear me out.
I'm hearing it.
She said, "You could be the next Santa Claus." Well, do you think if Miss Claus was so progressive,
Right.
she wouldn't have been dumb enough to offer a job that's impossible for that person to receive?
That's also
Because that
true.
would be really mean. Like, let's say you had no chance. I have no chance of being
like
president.
a backhanded compliment.
It is. So if she really,
Yeah. It's not a real
so the
compliment.
writing doesn't make sense. She said you could be a great. Well, I could never be Santa Claus. Well, wouldn't Mrs. Claus know she couldn't be Santa Claus, and that would be a fucked up thing to say to this girl? To say, hey, you could be something you can't be.
Yeah, it'd be like you could be the Pope. Can't be the Pope
Nope.
if you're a girl.
Nope.
Pope.
So that's fucked up. And
Mrs. Claus is a bitch.
Mrs. Claus is either Mrs.
Wow.
Claus is a
Wow.
bitch or this.
She just had it. She wants
or
she wants
she's
to let her hair
that.
down.
She just doesn't
She wants to
know
let her
the
hair
rules.
down.
She doesn't know the rules.
We've got some hot takes here tonight, folks.
There's a lot going on in the Santa Clauses. And one of the clauses I'm seeing is that the writers are going to get canceled if they don't abide by the clauses of this weird equilibrium of nonsensical crap. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I
Yeah.
was just gonna say you should dial down the Alex Jones just a little bit.
Okay.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. So like,
Lizard people. They're all lizards.
it is entertaining, but can we talk about the opener? Can we talk about the opening? The opening looks like Rudolph the reindeer, like snorting like candy canes.
Oh, that
What
opening
the-
is.
It's
so chaotic.
weird.
Yeah,
I
let's
love
get
it.
distracted by the coked up reindeer.
What's the face that he does? Can one of you recreate the face? There it is. There it is.
It's like
a weird
slow mo,
face.
like he's like snorting a line.
and then you see like and then you see what's his name, Tim Allen, and he's just like eating a jelly bean. Just
You mean a donut? Like,
Oh, yeah. Santa Claus. Okay, so before we get too out of ourselves, we're like running 22 minutes on a
21
episode that's ridiculous. Is there anything else that you guys can say about this episode? What are we going to rate it? Like, what do you feel?
okay, so now we know what the first one is, if you remember. So based on that information, we should be able to extrapolate a rating for this episode.
I was enjoying this episode until y'all like pointed out all the stuff that I should be paying attention to that I didn't pay attention to.
But
so now I
you're
have to
still demographic.
but now I'm gonna have to give them a lower rating because of it. Because you opened my eyes to it.
All right,
But if
Javi.
you liked it, you liked it.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
See, if you enjoyed it, I think it was enjoyable.
I thought it was enjoyable.
I'm gonna give it a 6.9.
That's way higher than it was, wasn't it? Wasn't it like a 6.5?
Okay, well, 6.9 is Javi's.
My
JP.
last one was 8.1. Okay, so I came down. a lot.
He's correcting. He's learning. He's learning.
Okay.
All right.
So what do you think?
I think
Like your
if
opinion,
the first
though.
one was a 6.4, then I think the IMDb is going to be on this one probably like a 6.2. I personally will give it a 6.5, but I think it's going to be like a 6.2.
Okay. I'm gonna say the same. I think maybe a 5.7.
No.
I said 5.7. My problem is it started off really strong, and I'm starting to. I see where the story's gonna go, and I can also see how it being a series bothers me a lot because this is a movie-based type of situation.
Do you know why they do that though? It's because then you have to wait for the next episode.
I know why they.
And
I know why they do that. That's part of the problem.
Lifetime
Yeah, that's what he's describing.
It's called the LTV, lifetime value of your customer. Ciao.
All right.
And this businessman here is ruining art
Yeah.
and turning it into a chore to get through for monetary value.
Yeah.
This is a very political episode of Stream This, folks. I did not try to get involved in that type of thing,
He
but
really did. He was.
I
feeling
am.
it.
But this is all on the nose,
No, not you.
and I'm seeing a lot of this.
He's
and
talking
it's-
about the show creators.
and it's actually It's actually kind of for me. Ruining it's almost it's putting a little taint,
It's like ruining Christmas.
a little sour taint on exactly Christmas and everything because I'm
It's
just
like
I'm seeing so many lines blurred right now where I just want to see like a wholesome Christmas movie, but
Yeah.
now it's becoming
It's a little woke.
an agenda woke series that involves Santa.
Well, I mean, that's
It's
the.
like throwing bait out there and be like stay another month, watch another month, because we're gonna wait to release the last one to.
No, I mean, well, I think we're talking about
binge it
something
all,
different.
right?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is a thing that is really common. They take IPs, intellectual properties that everybody loves and grew up watching in the 80s
and then they
and
do
the 90s,
something with it.
and then they say, okay, let's take that idea for this new audience, these new kids that are much more fluid in their ideologies and everything else. And sometimes it could be a little distracting, and sometimes, like you said, it can put a little bad taste. It can retcon some of the things that you loved about the original, right? Like the first thing that we saw, like it was such a big thing of a Santa Claus.
First one, awesome. Rocky Balboa music, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, there's plenty to love here. I still would stream this episode. I'd still stream it.
Do you know what the rating is?
Oh, the rating of this episode, Javi wins it. It's 6.6. You were closest. I said 6.2. JP said 5.7. He's way the fuck off.
People are liking it.
People are liking it.
I
It
mean,
got a better
that's
rating than the first one.
It's good.
6.4 to 6.6.
Maybe the nostalgia is coming back.
I mean,
we did get to see Charlie.
I am happy. Yes, that definitely
that might have
bumped
been
it
a
up.
bump. That might have been a bump.
Listen, with all the criticism, I'm happy it's doing well because I love this.
sure
I love
everyone-
the Santa Claus. I just love the Santa Claus.
I'm sure everyone Googled what happened to Charlie afterwards, and it was actually that guy. That's probably what bumped it.
Well, don't they have to rate? It's not about views, right?
What do you mean? Yeah, no, it's about ratings.
People rate
People
it.
rate.
It's not
Yeah,
about.
I'm saying they rated it, but they actually saw that it was the real Charlie. Like you were like what happened to
Oh,
Topanga?
yeah.
And you see like Topanga now, and they saw that it was actually the real Charlie. Kind of like with the Karate Kid.
Oh, also,
with Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah.
last little fun fact: the younger daughter with the braces. What's her name? Cassie or something?
I mean, Kumar's.
No.
Oh, he's saying that's the daughter of Tim Allen.
Sandra, the younger daughter of Tim Allen in the show, is actually Tim Allen's real life daughter.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of a fun fact.
How old is Tim Allen to have a kid that's like 14?
I mean, he's been Santa for 28 years.
Yeah, and he probably started late, right?
Yeah.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Anyway, I'd agree though. Like if I had a kid right now, like I'd be like Tim Allen at his age.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was the Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus.
And it is bringing me back and also taking me forward. So I feel stretched in two directions watching this. However, I will eat it all up, and I really enjoy it. So we are going to see the next episode for sure.